Welcome to the Board of Trustees of the Harwich Affordable Housing Trust, Griffin Room Town Hall, Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Call to order. Do a quick roll call.
Bob Spencer.
Brendan Lowney.
Jeff Handler.
Great, thank you. Any public comments? Okay, hearing none. Ed, can you hear us? Do you have a public comment? New business, we're going to probably move A to the 2 p.m. spot.
Yes.
Wendy will be coming a little bit later, and this is for Habitat for Humanity. They're doing a presentation. Next on is B, request KP Law opinion via interim town administrator regarding the trust access to legal opinions or the need for separate counsel.
Mr. Chairman, I'm concerned that we heard from the chair of the select board at our last meeting that we did not necessarily have representation available to us via the town council. And I want to get an opinion from KP Law about that, because we do have matters that needs counsel. And so I would make a motion that we put in a request to the interim town administrator regarding access to legal opinions.
Second.
Okay, second, Jeff.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to take the notes for today?
I could probably.
Okay.
Thank you, though. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0.
Thank you.
That's great, thanks, Bob. Next on is C, under new business, Harwich Affordable Housing Tax Credits. This has to do with the assessors, and Richard Waystack is here to give us a quick
Also
breakdown.
joined by the Harwich Assessing Director,
Oh, great.
Carleen Jones.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking us to be here, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. There was quite an article last week's Cape Cod Chronicle about this program, and Carly, as the leading staff member on this issue, can answer many of the questions we have. Bottom line is the board, Carly made it aware to the board a while ago that the Department of Revenue was offering a program. And as a board, the Board of Assessors picked up immediately and felt it was something that we should do to help with the affordability in this community. And the staff did an incredible job of putting together a program that we will use with our other tax credits that we utilize and programs that we have for seniors, for sight impaired, for veterans, for those who are experiencing financial hardship. And because we have vetted so many people out in the community with these other different programs, we felt that we could make this work very, very well. Town meeting passed it in May of this year. It was approved by the Attorney General, and we have now vetted our first member of the community who is receiving a tax credit as a result of this program. Carly, why don't you explain how we're doing it, what we're using for the criteria, because we do have applications in front of all of them.
Yeah, so everything is based off the HUD median area income. We went with 125%. You can go between 100% and 200%. So we used the 125%. Those are all basically from the HUD income, HUD fair market rent values for Barnstable County. So that's what you see there. The affordable rents, as you see, they include utilities. So that's important to note that everybody, when they apply, that 1739 for the efficiency is including utilities.
And I thank you for having us, because we're trying to promote this as much as we can throughout the community. When we went to town meeting, we estimated budgetarily what we could handle. We anticipate, we're hoping for 30 applications in the first year. And this does not just require someone to have an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, on their property. If, for instance, Mr. Chairman, you had a house and you had a couple of extra bedrooms, and you decided to rent out those bedrooms with a lease to someone who met these guidelines, you, as the taxpayer, could qualify for a tax credit.
Okay.
There are two different credits that we offer. Explain.
So that's why we put it in by square footage, so that people who rent just a room could take advantage of this opportunity. So 500 square feet and under, you can get a $1,000 tax exemption. Over 500 square feet is a $1,500 tax exemption. So if you have one house and you're renting 2 rooms to 2 teachers and you have 2 leases, you can put both of those leases forward for $1,000 each.
So you could receive, again, a $2,000 tax credit. The whole idea is that we're a community that our demographic is a little bit older. We have people in many cases who could potentially be overhoused, living in a larger home. And as myself, someone who receives Medicare, as we age out, we want to stay in our properties. We don't want to move on. We don't want to have to be pushed out of our properties. But it allows you to utilize some of that space for someone else. And I think the key to this program is, and this is where the staff is so good at what they do, they vet very, very carefully. You have an application in front of you, and you see what's included in that application, that we need to see from the tenant, their tax records, their bank accounts, to see that they do qualify under these. But more importantly, the landlord needs to show a lease, and we need to see the landlord's bank statements to see that they are actually receiving this rent. So it is a good program, it is well vetted, and it's something that is vetted every year.
So it's a repeat.
Absolutely. So if you wanted to do it next year, you would need to do the same thing again. Over the years, the staff has really gotten very, very good at vetting all of these different various tax credits we use. But I think when, we get into discussions of affordability, we're trying to do everything we can from our board level and the staff level to provide more affordable housing for this community. And the more that we can get this word out through appearing before different committees, articles in the newspaper, and programs through the Harwich channel, it allows us to get out to many people. So we implore you, as members of the Affordable Housing Trust, to help spread this word, that this program is available. And if people are looking for information on if their particular situation could work, highly encourage them to speak to the staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I might.
Go ahead.
So in this program, there's no deed restriction.
Nope.
Nope, this is a year-to-year thing,
Has to be a year-round rental.
okay? And there's no lottery system,
No.
okay?
It is kind of first come, first serve. We don't anticipate it getting more than 30, but for some reason, if we do get more than 30, we did unfortunately cap it at 30, so we can only take the first 30 applicants.
But when you say 30, that could total something about $50,000
Correct.
Yeah, 45. And here,
in the
Yeah.
course of the year.
that would be a wonderful problem that the board would love to have.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if we do, we'd be going back to the board. The funding for this comes from the overlay account. The overlay account that the assessing department has is for all of our abatements, for all of the tax credits that we issue through the town. And we have a balance in that account, and if it gets too high, we give that money back to the town. But every year, the town budgets $400,000 to $450,000 in that overlay account. This is where that money is coming from. If we have a demand and we have 50 people doing this, wonderful. We're providing some more local affordable housing. We're helping some of our seniors in our community. I have no problem going to the Finance Committee and to the Select Board, asking for more money or to increase this program as high as we could use it.
Yeah.
And it can be combined with the senior exemption, everything else. They just have to pay a minimum of 10% of their tax bill. So they can get the senior, this one, and then, only pay 10% of their tax
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah.
So it would be a tremendous help to a lot of people.
If I may, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Are you all set,
No,
Paul?
go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here, and Carly, I just want to thank you publicly for truly putting the best interest of the residents of the town of Harwich in the windshield and taking really great care of them. So
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough. I know my colleagues here absolutely feel
great.
the same way. Like I know how hard you've worked on this, because the guy sitting to your right, my right ear's bleeding from how much he talks about the amount of work and effort and forethought and strategizing that you put forward. It's just, you're a model for the rest of us to really try to replicate. So,
Thank
enough
you.
about you. So I took fiendish notes here. Let's see, 30 applications. How do we get the word out? What if either you or Richard or the both of you were to write a little pitch, and then I could request at the select board meeting tonight that we send that pitch to all boards and committees. So at the beginning of all of their meetings, they simply read this out loud. Getting the message out to the wonderful people of Harwich is typically the hardest job we all have, is to inform and educate and just let people know what offerings we have out there. This one is simply incredible, and you have my word that I will do everything I can to use my voice to get this out. But I think it would be helpful if we all said the same thing. And if we could get the information from you of what we could say, and I'll run it up the flagpole to the chair of the select board tonight, and see what the select board thinks. I don't think that there should be much disagreement to it, but if we all had the same message to deliver to the public at all of our meetings for the next month or so, or two, or consistently, ongoing, I think that would be a help. And I love that we're just attacking this housing crisis from multiple angles. You know, it's not just about building new structures, but this money will go a long way for a lot of people. And I really thank you for all your effort, and I'll begrudgingly thank Richard as well. Thank you both. Thank you both.
And I feel the same way. Thank you very much for everything. This is great.
And just final comment, if I can, we were at an unfortunate gathering of assessors from across the Cape a couple of weeks ago. And Carly has been getting inundated with calls because we are the first town to utilize this program as designed by the Department of Revenue and all the other towns are now calling to find out how we're doing it.
Right, and the
This
whole
young-
state.
Right, and this young lady and her staff have been so proactive, you know, and as a young mother, you know, a bunch of folks at her house that she has, and she does basically her own affordable housing program. It's imperative that we all work together to accomplish this. And again, I cannot thank her enough, but I have to be careful because I don't want someone else coming to try to poach her. So we're very fortunate to
that
have a
great.
very good assessing director. Anything else, Mr. Chair?
No, I think we're good. Any other questions?
I just want to say thank you to, when I first saw the article in the Chronicle last week, and I'd heard Richard talking about this, but I didn't realize that we were there.
Yeah.
The first response I had internally was a sense of appreciation to know that we're not rowing the boat alone,
Right.
that
Right.
you're with us.
Yep, it's definitely a team effort.
That just is a powerful feeling for me.
That's great.
And I
Good to
can't,
hear.
I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
please, anyone who is watching, applications and the criteria sheet are available at the assessor's office, and I believe online
Yep.
as well. And if people have questions, to please call the office. The staff will walk you right through the process.
Call the assessor's office.
Please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we'd be happy to help.
I was going to give him Richard's home number, but I think.
That works too. Send them our way.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
again,
Thank you.
both of you. Excellent work.
Excellent.
That's fantastic.
Okay, on to old business. Review vote for minutes from August 11, 2025, August 22nd from 2025, and August 29th of 2025. Do I have a motion to approve all three?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes for 8/11/25, 8/22/25, and 8/29/25.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No against, 3-0. Next, old business, continued discussion on the trust documents related matters. Does anyone have any take on?
Well,
I can also give an update on what's going to happen later on tonight at the select board.
Sure.
Why don't you go, well, you go ahead first.
I don't want to drop this. I think we need to continue to chase it out and see what the merits are that need to be considered. It's still ambiguous to me and unclear.
Correct.
Ambiguous and unclear, pretty much the same thing. But what I want to also convey is that we have an openness to hearing other opinions. And if somebody has a problem with how we're operating or our rules of procedure, whatever, tell us. Bring it to us. Don't just sit and stew and that's it.
Yeah. And then, just to add to that, tonight, the select board has a very similar discussion, and they're really focused on, three documents: the bylaw, the trust docs, and then what 4455C says. And there's some discrepancy in there on how you read it, and it would be nice just to maybe have some lawyers take a look at it if there is an issue. And it has to do with the appointment of town administrator, designee, the word shall. Are we confining future select boards not being able to do what they want to do per chapter 4455C? And does the trust doc, the bylaw, and the Mass General Law all, make sense and operate correctly? So if there is an issue, we should vet it
Please.
through the proper channels. And so we'll see what the select board has to say tonight. I'll be there as well to chime in if they need me. Okay?
And I would just also add that in all likelihood, if things do come to us in this regard, we're going to need legal counsel to advise us. And that kind of speaks to the first motion that we had today. We need to know whether or not we can get legal opinions from KP Law or not. And if we can't, we need to be looking for counsel.
Okay. Agreed? Jeff, anything?
I have nothing. Thank you both.
Excellent. Next, C, discussion on ownership lease issues with 265 Sisson Road, the Junior Theater. And Bob, if you want to
Sure.
take this on.
Let me get into this because it was several months back now that we were prepared to talk about the development of, the possible development at 265 Sisson Road. And Michael McCaskill came in and made it clear that from his point of view and his research and his understandings, that the ownership and the ownership of this property was not clear. And the legality of the structure was not clear. The structure being, it's clear that the Affordable Housing Trust owns that property, that parcel. But we were told about a year and a half ago by the former town administrator that while we own the property, the lease is held by the select board. So I didn't question that. But that in questioning this issue and then digging deeper into this issue, it's clear that we have to make sense of where we stand. If we are the owners and the landlords, that puts us in a position of being financially responsible for repairs that are significant in the amounts. In looking through the lease, we're responsible for painting and maintenance and repair of doors, door frameworks and windows, painting and preserving exterior surfaces, fire egress stairways, installation and maintenance of ADA lift to a second floor is the responsibility of the tenant. We're supposed to be responsible for repair and replacement of heating plant. We don't have a capital budget. And we need legal guidance on how to look at this lease. Are we in the position to be able to renegotiate this lease? It seems to me that we ought to be renegotiating this lease before it's up in 2034. So this has nothing to do with the junior theater. And it has everything to do with the junior theater because this property is a valuable asset to us as well as to the junior theater. And we want to protect and preserve the trust as well as the junior theater. So I want us to move forward in a deliberate way to clear this up and to fix the mess. So, that's not
Sounds
very
good.
eloquent, but you know what I mean.
You have anything, Jeff? or-
It's okay with you, I'd like to hear what Mr. Waystack has to say before I...
Richard?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Richard Waystack, Harwich. I go back 4 years ago when I was negotiating with the Affordable Housing Trust for the purchase of 456 Queen Anne Road, now known as, well, the Penrose Project shall be. These same questions came up at that time. At that time, the trust had the opportunity to hire their own outside legal counsel. And I think this is a perfect example where the trust should have their own counsel. Because you've got a question of, is something controlled by the town? Or is it controlled by the trust? You're the legal owner of record of the property.
Right.
You could be the legal owner of record of a property, and I could lease your house out. But I have no right to do so if I'm not the legal owner of the property. I believe, and going back to when this occurred 4 years ago in the negotiation of the purchase of that land by the Affordable Housing Trust, at the time, the people involved in the trust lobbied heavily for outside counsel. They received outside counsel to help facilitate the purchase of that land. There's no question in my mind that the Affordable Housing Trust should have its own counsel. And if you have a budget, you take your money out of your budget to pay for your own counsel. The town has its own counsel. And if you have like a situation like this where you own a property and there's a lease held by another party on your property, where's the legality? And I think you not only need your own counsel, but you need very, very good real estate counsel. This is a real estate matter. It's a tenancy. I would strongly urge that you work with the select board to clarify if you do indeed have the right, which I believe you do, to hire your own counsel. And I think your board should take it up on an agenda to find your own counsel to advise you in these matters. Not town council, Affordable Housing Trust Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Jeff?
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I would echo Richard's sentiments. I don't think it would be reasonable for us to use Harwich's town council when Harwich, the town of Harwich is part of this, I would call it a mess, to be quite honest with you. For me, the most important thing here is, and I'm fairly certain, if not certain, that this will all get sorted out. This is part and parcel of how many towns operate. I've looked into this, and this is not wildly uncommon. So I truly believe this will get sorted out. But at the end of the day, for me, the public has a right to understand the obligation that they have for this building by way of their tax dollars. So as we work our way through this, and do our discovery and work with council, like I said, I feel this will get sorted out, but it needs to stay on our agenda until it gets
Absolutely.
sorted out. And if the select board needs to be part of it, and I'm not sure why they would or wouldn't, at this point, I'm certainly happy to forward that and advance that as well at the select board level.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as just keeping it on the agenda until the matter's resolved.
Absolutely.
And Bob, if you want to take it on,
I
and,
do.
whatever you need to do, that'd be
I do.
great. Excellent.
I also want the town to be aware, and by doing this in public, have a clear understanding that if we need counsel, and if we need to retain our own counsel, then we need to use some of the funds that have been made available to us for that purpose.
Excellent, thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have
Oh, Elaine, sorry.
an esteemed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Elaine Shovlin, Harwich. Something else just to throw in the mix. I know I'd asked years ago about this. Is the Affordable Housing Trust as an entity covered under the town's liability insurance?
We have been told that we are.
Okay,
So the three things we're going to work on is really insurance, the lease, and then clarification on the maintenance between both parties.
yeah.
So they'll be like the three main
My
items.
concern was liability, especially if something would happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who, if it happens in the house, is that the town?
I was recently
Is it
told that we're
enough?
covered, but at the same time, let's get it in writing. So that's what Bob's going to task. We're going
Yeah.
to try and get all this in writing, so there's clarity.
Yeah, please, before something might happen.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
Okay, moving on. Old business. D, RFPs for 0 Oak Street and 0 Depot Street. We had this on the agenda a couple of meetings ago. I think we all agreed that, these properties are not suitable for affordable housing, and it would be probably time to move these forward to an RFP and try to sell them. And there's 3 different ways we could do that. We talked about that. I think maybe I could take that on and just try to see what we can do as far as creating the RFPs to get them sold.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right, so I'll take that one on.
Thank you.
And updates on 456 Queen Anne Road. The only update that I have is that the select board is going to be looking at the eligibility letter tonight. It's on their agenda, and that's where it is right now. So the state does have that, and that will come back with the state's approval, and the process will continue. So for right now, that's where Penrose is with the application process. Any other updates on that?
No, I'm excited to see where that goes tonight at
Yeah.
the select board meeting.
Exactly.
Good.
Next, F, updates on ADUs and affordable housing.
At our last meeting, last month, no, we've had 4 meetings in the last month, so never mind that. At our July meeting, we received information from Talitha Abramson from CDP and from Brianna about efforts around the state to partner affordable housing and ADUs. There was some remarkable stuff we found, Brianna found from Great Barrington, Massachusetts, as well as in Wellfleet. So there are some models for us to choose and look at. We need to have someone kind of being the champion of this concept and chase that down. So I think it's exciting, I think it's also challenging, and it's got potential, and it also is going to take a lot of work. So I want us to be continuing to talk about it and trying to move it forward. Noreen?
Good afternoon. Noreen Donahue, speaking as a resident. I wasn't at the meeting when you spoke about that, but I did watch it. And I agree totally with Member Bob Spencer's comments about the idea that I presented last winter in terms of the fact that the lottery really kind of kills it. I think that would be very daunting for any individual homeowner. And also in terms of, the town running it, I wouldn't want to see the trust involved in, running lotteries. That sounds like something, far more for a housing authority or something like that. I think all those discussions are good because it keeps the topics on the table. We learn more, and the idea that I presented might be more appropriate if the town ever had a pool of money for workforce or attainable things, then it might work, fabulously. But, so thank you so much for that. My main reason for coming here today was I want to thank you as a committee. I really think that your behavior, in terms of the idea that I brought forward, your behavior was exemplary. I came in as a resident with an idea, and you listened, you took it, you developed it, you looked into it, and, I just think that is so laudable, whatever the issue is. So I really give you all credit for doing that, because all of the boards, we're all busy, we all have stacks of work, we all have agendas, and the idea that a resident could just come in just with an idea and you would give it time and credence, I give you credit. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Noreen.
As far as who could take it on, Bob, maybe I can connect with Brianna on the ADU part of it. And the lottery is an issue. For example, the fire station on Bank Street, they charge the lottery the way it would work if Hack was doing it. It's roughly 1 month's rent. So let's say it's 3 units, $6,000, but they have a minimum of $10,000. So not only you cannot pick who you want to be there, there's a lottery system, and then there is a $10,000 cost associated with that process, along with management of the units moving forward. Richard?
On that vein, Mr. Chairman, if I could, if you could make room on your next agenda
Yeah.
for the old Bank Street Firehouse project to come before you, looking for some additional help for that specific reason, for the lottery, for those units that are ready to go online.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll reach out to them. Okay, great. Next, G, updates on inclusionary and incentive zoning. Brianna's here just to give a quick update.
Hello, I don't have much of an update. Last meeting in August, I don't know how it's already September, but I mentioned that the 30 hours that we were using for the Shared Regional Housing Service Program, that's what we were working on. So myself, Tony, Christine, and Alexis are meeting on Wednesday to go over what they found. So I'll have a better update next month for you.
That's great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Brianna, would you be open to having Claudia involved in that? I can sign Claudia up because she's not here. I know that she has a passion and a strong interest in that.
Sure, I'll reach out to Alexis and see her thoughts, but I can absolutely meet with Claudia on it as well.
Thank you very much.
And I also thought it'd be a great idea to get together with the housing committee, now that they're reorganized and they're having meetings again. We should have our yearly meeting with them. And I thought that this topic would be great for them to dive into, along with the $5 billion bill that was passed. So there's a lot of information there, and see how anywhere in that bill, can any of that benefit Harwich in the future? So that'll be something they want to tackle. So I'll run it by them. Anything else?
Yeah.
What do you got?
When we were creating the agenda, it looked like there was a ton of work that we were going to be involved in, and it's only a half an hour into this meeting. Our presentation from the folks from Habitat for Humanity is scheduled for 2 o'clock.
Oh, that's right.
I made the arrangement with them to be here at 2 because I thought we were going to need all the other time to get our work done. So here we are. Anybody hear any good jokes?
What do you recommend?
We could take a recess.
We can take a recess.
We recess and reconvene open session no sooner than 2 PM.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I move that we take a recess and reconvene as soon as Habitat for Humanity is ready to present.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent.
Very.
Okay, I'm calling back to order the Affordable Housing Trust meeting, and we're back to new business. And Wendy Cullen from Habitat Humanity. Hello.
Hi.
And Noreen.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Noreen.
It's okay.
Sorry, I was reading from my script there.
Thank you for being here. We, as a trust, have been looking at rental properties. And we need to continue to look at rental properties. But we also need to really consider home ownership. You folks represent an organization that's been around for many years, the 80s.
Yeah, 1983. Yeah, and we've built almost 200 homes here in the Cape.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us about your process? How do you figure it out? How do you figure out where you're going to go?
Yep.
What do you do about infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. So we start with Noreen. So Noreen is our land acquisition director, and she's in touch with all the departments in all the towns, or all the housing trusts and CPCs and town planners on the Cape. Once a piece of property is identified, then our director of construction will go out and take a look at it. If he thinks it's a buildable lot, he'll send our engineer to go out and say, we can fit a number of bedrooms. We usually start with, it can be 12 bedrooms, and then we'll say, okay, well, we'll do 4 3-bedroom homes or something like that. Backing up a little bit, we either get we get land either from the town using CPC funds or donated land from individuals. We can't afford to buy market rate land, would be building one house every couple of years, right? So, so just to, that's where our land comes from. Whether it's CPC funds are awarded to purchase a piece of property that someone else is selling, or CPC funds are awarded to acquire a town-owned land.
Would you ever consider a long-term lease on
We haven't
land?
done a long-term lease on land. I'm not saying we wouldn't consider it. I think Noreen might have more experience with that.
It's complicated to sell a home to a third party with a
Gotcha.
long-term lease. And even if we were to do it now, when they go to resell it down the road, there's no guarantee they're going to find a lender who's going to
Understood.
lend on leased
So the
land.
lender issue.
Okay,
Mostly it's a lender issue, yeah.
Yep. okay.
Because you're leasing the land, but you're selling the house, and then it's not a deed, it's a bill of sale. It just, it's a little awkward,
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
thank you.
And I'm just going to address the when they sell, because that question will come up. So there's a rider on the deed that ensures that the house will be affordable in perpetuity. So a Habitat homeowner can sell if they, their circumstances change and they want to sell, but it has to go through a housing authority to be resold as an affordable home. So the homes that we build are always sold as affordable.
But that doesn't mean that they don't accrue equity.
They do accrue equity.
Yeah.
Not the same
caps.
as a market rate home would, but they do accrue equity.
How is that determined?
Our homes are all through the program, the LIP program, Local Initiative Program, through the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. They determine the resale price certificate and the rate at the time of sale. So it's all factored in and monitored by the state.
Okay.
So we have to go through their program, we use their deed rider, so it maintains its affordability, and it's counted on the subsidized housing inventory.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And that's right on the website. If you read the LIP, it's like in the third paragraph. It talks about that, the percentages and everything else that's going on with
Gotcha.
it. But there's a little bit of paperwork that goes
I
as
would
well.
assume, yeah.
A lot of
Okay.
paperwork.
And how
Noreen
it's,
takes care of the paper.
right.
That's on
So you
us.
get involved with appraising it, after the construction of it all, and you do all of that as well, or?
Once it's built, we have local banks that will
Yeah.
handle the financing. Years ago, Habitat
Mhm.
financed the homes.
Yeah,
But again, you can't really keep building that way. So,
gotcha.
yeah, they'll handle all the closings the bank will handle that with the new buyers.
Interesting.
But they'll all be qualified, no higher than 80% of area median income. So they all will, 80%, so 80%, 80% of, at or below 80% of the area median income is what the income limits have to be in order for the state to count it on the subsidized housing inventory.
Okay.
So they do qualify for the SHI list.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we look at the property, our engineer says, yes, 4 bedrooms. We see where we can fit it into our build schedule. And when we know when we're going to purchase the property and get the permits and everything that
Yes.
Noreen handles, we'll open applications for 60 days. So we market heavily through the schools, through counseling agencies. We have hundreds of places that we market when we have applications open. We have a team of volunteers that come into our office to sort through the applications. And, if you're making too much money, you don't qualify. If you have too much debt, you're not going to qualify. So there's the debt to income thing that has to be satisfied. If you don't make enough, and it's part of the application will tell you that you need to make a certain amount in order to afford this mortgage, because we don't want to bring anyone into the program that's not going to be able to afford their monthly mortgage payment. We send these applications, once they're pre-approved by our team, we send them out to the banks for approval for a mortgage, or pre-approval for a mortgage. And then we do a lottery. We put all the names, we're Habitat, so we put them in a paint bucket.
Yep.
And they aren't actually names, we don't put names in, we put little chips with numbers, it's all very, blind. And then we just pull out the names. There's a little bit of sorting if it's a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. We want to maximize the number of bedrooms for our homes. There is local preference, up to 70% of the homes are local preference, so that means if you already live in the town, or if you work in the town, or if your children are in public school in the town, then you'll get that local preference. And then,
But before you go on,
Yep, yep.
how do you price them?
Yeah, so we have a finance director that prices the homes for each project. We don't want the mortgage to be more than 30% of the applicant's income, so we kind of back into the house price.
Okay,
Right now, it costs us about $450,000 to build the home, that's without the land, and we're selling them for between 2 and 300,000, or 250,000, which everyone will say that's not a good business model.
it's a good mission model.
We take quite
Yeah.
a lot, so that's why we do fundraising, obviously, we're a nonprofit, we do a lot of fundraising. And then the families that come out of the lotteries start their journey with Habitat. Each adult in the family is required to put in at least 250 hours of what we call sweat equity. I raised 3 children, I didn't have an extra 10 hours for about 20 years, so it's a huge challenge, but they do it. They work building their own homes, they work on their neighbors' homes, they volunteer in our restore, some of the hours can be done in non-construction, and they learn great skills along the way of, that there's actually studs behind those walls that you need to find when you hang a picture.
Yep.
Things like that. They lay floors, they put in windows, they hang doors, it's an amazing journey for these families. And then they purchase the home. When the home is finished, they purchase it with a mortgage. We used to, Noreen mentioned, Habitat used to hold a 0% mortgage. In 2012, I think it was, Habitat International allowed us to start using the USDA mortgage, which was still a low interest, not a no interest, but a low interest. And a couple of years ago, the Cooperative Bank of Cape Cod agreed to match the terms of the USDA mortgage and hold a local mortgage.
Wow.
So it's wonderful to have
Yeah.
this local bank
Yeah.
doing mortgages for Habitat families. And last year, Siemens Bank joined as well. So Siemens and the Cooperative Bank of Cape Cod hold Habitat mortgages for our families.
That's great.
Which is wonderful.
What's the greatest demand? I'm sorry,
You're doing great.
What's the greatest demand that you hear about in terms of family size? 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom?
We usually build, mostly I would say 3 bedrooms.
3 bedroom.
2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms are what we typically build. We did build a 4-bedroom in Brewster not too long ago, and we do build some 1-bedrooms from time to time.
Okay.
We build 1-bedrooms, which are, like gold, like people, the single people really love knowing we build, single, one-bedroom homes.
There is a need for the one-bedroom as well.
There is?
There is a
Okay.
need for the
Yeah.
one-bedroom.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And duplexes?
Not typically. We have some common wall homes, some here in Gomes Way, I believe we have some Habitat homes. We feel the single-family home ownership is the best product that we can give our families.
Okay.
We do get a lot of complaints that common wall, for some reason, space makes good neighbors. It doesn't have to be a lot of space, but we do have, problems with the common wall, so we really do. But we build densely, and we always have built densely. Our recent design, we have some property in Orleans, which is 0.9 of an acre, and we're putting 7 homes on it. So it's a longer model of a home, and there's still single-family homes, but that's a lot of,
Each one is
Yeah.
0.9, so we have
Yeah.
7 right next to each other.
yeah,
So
Each
we're-
one
each
is
one,
0.9?
yeah. Yes.
Okay.
yes.
I can tell by your
I'm
face.
sorry.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
each
you,
one
yeah.
is 0.9, and we have
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
They're longer and thinner, so we can kind of get them in there. But we're building with, partnership with Hack and POA over there
Okay.
to redo the
Okay.
Governor Prince. So we're doing the affordable home ownership, single family. Another concern we have with the duplex or the, is you're asking people that might have a financial challenge to start with to share expenses. So usually those homes have a master policy, or you have to share insurance for the, to cover the master policy for insurance on those homes.
Mhm.
And then you're asking people to share funds. And sometimes that can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
And who covers the cost of your infrastructure? I mean, if you have
Oh,
7
yeah.
homes, you've put in a new road.
We do,
Yeah.
Habitat does.
yeah.
Okay.
We put in the road, we bring in the utilities, the water, the electrical. Our homes have to be volunteer-friendly because we build with volunteers, so that's another thing we keep in mind when we design we use. We build pretty simple, the 2 and 3 bedroom ranches. We do have a Cape model, which I love the Cape model. The new model, the smaller ranches, or they're not ranches because they're 2 stories.
They're 2
so
stories, yeah.
That's a new design, but, and when we do bigger neighborhoods, we try to mix it up so it doesn't look cookie cutter home, affordable homes. So we'll do some ranches and some capes, and we'll situate them differently on the lots, just to give it a more friendly neighborhood look.
Mm-hmm.
Our Cape and our ranch can be turned.
Turned,
So
right.
each one, you don't have them all looking the same, but we can build 2 or 3 of the same homes, and they just look, the front elevations are varied, so it doesn't look, like she said, cookie cutter.
Yeah, yeah.
We do put solar on all of our homes now since about 2015.
That's what I thought.
We
Yeah.
put solar panels on our homes. We use heat pumps, so the homes are cooled as well as heated, no fossil fuels. We actually were awarded a couple summers ago having the lowest HERS rating of any Habitat home in the country.
Oh, wow. Really?
So, yeah, so we have a nice, we build a beautiful home.
Mm.
It's
great.
nice, tight, well-insulated home. CAM Appliances donates all 5 appliances to every Habitat home.
Mm.
Refrigerator, stove, dishwasher, washer, dryer is a donation through CAM Appliance. Fraser Construction puts a roof on every Habitat home. We get the shingles donated by Certainty, but Fraser sends a crew to put the roofs on because we don't like putting our volunteers up on the roofs for the obvious reasons. Boston Marble and Granite, a few years ago, the owner came to one of our dedications and saw our Formica countertops and said, we can't, we're not doing that anymore. He donates granite countertops for kitchen and bath in all of our homes, and that doesn't just use up leftover supplies. He gives the homeowners a choice of 5 or 6 different granites to choose from, which is, that's a lot of your personality goes into that granite in your kitchen. So we have amazing support from members of the community, the volunteers, the donors, the businesses.
So before the house is built, you already have the owner in mind?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. Yep, once we pull the names from the lottery, we have a ceremony, a wall-raising ceremony, where that's the start of their journey. But yeah, so if we have 10 homes, like we did in Falmouth, we had 10 homes. Just happens that we had 10 single moms in these 10 homes. But if you're the first out of the bucket, you get to go and you look at the plan and say, well, you can set the one in the cul-de-sac, or you can have the first one on the right, so they can have a choice of, what lot they want to have, which is a nice thing.
And who's your biggest competitor?
I don't think that we have a competitor. I mean, we are the only organization doing 100% affordable homes on Cape Cod. Everything we build, right, is an affordable home. And I also will say we need it all, whether it's rentals, apartments, condos, Habitat homes. We're in such a crisis that I support anyone getting families into homes. So we don't, we all compete for the same dollar, and all of our money is raised on Cape Cod. We don't get funded through Habitat International, we do our own fundraising. So, there's always competition for money, but, donor's choice, you do your job and we'll raise your money.
We're also the only developer that offers home ownership for 60% of AMI. So that's an income segment rarely reached when you come to home ownership. So usually if we have 10 homes, we'll do 50% at 80% and 50% at 60%.
Serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
even more subsidized.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quick question. As an owner, I know in rentals, you can go up to 140% AMI as you stay in the unit over the years. When someone breaks the 80% AMI, how does that work for the ownership?
Right, so, once you purchase your Habitat home, it's your home,
Yeah.
free and clear, there's no connection left to Habitat. You don't, we hope you get a better job, we hope you make more money,
Well, that's great.
and you hope your life gets better.
But it stays on the shy list even though they exceed
Yes.
the 80%?
Yep,
And then when they sell it, it goes back to that percent on what you can make as an owner?
yep,
That's great. So they have some incentive as well.
Typically
And then
this-
they're qualified buyers when they do the mortgage.
that's
So you have
correct,
someone who's really invested in the property
yes.
at a buy-down rate. Okay.
Typically, the 60% goes to 80% of AMI on a resale, and that's a state program. That's not a Habitat thing, so.
Right,
Some of the towns
exactly.
are trying to figure out how to keep the 60s at 60s, but right now the 60s go to 80s on a resale.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
But we don't have many resales.
We don't, they,
We've
yeah,
had
they
maybe
stay.
5, 6, I mean, we have one foreclosure of the 200 homes. So the training that families get, they get maintenance classes to care for their home, they get finance classes through local banks, they actually get a one-on-one budget class to help them get off on the right foot. So there's a lot invested. We don't build fast. It takes us 12 months to get from wall raising to home dedication. But, that's part of the journey. It's not just buying a house that you can afford. It's learning skills to build your home.
Maintain it and understand it.
Yeah, support.
That's always one of the numbers that blows me away is the low foreclosure rate. It's just amazing.
You know.
What's an ideal parcel as far as you're concerned?
Flat, which we don't see very much. A lot of the land that comes to us is, we make beautiful homes for mountain goats, not so much people. So we do say no to land that's, just, it would be just too expensive.
Mhm.
But
Sewer
parcels that we
connected.
can build more on are better.
How many? What's the ideal? Is it 6, 8?
Yeah, I would say 6 or 8. I mean, we have a 14 home build in Brewster. We did it in 2 phases. We did a 10 home build in Falmouth, and we have a 14 home build coming up in North Falmouth that we'll do in 2 phases.
Okay.
So,
Anything connected to sewer would be nice. But
yes,
we
yeah.
usually have to put septic in. We're going down the IA systems now. We're learning more about that, and both of our Falmouth projects will have the new IA septic systems in here.
Is it one septic system for the whole development?
Yeah, we have one shared for the 14 home development and one shared for the 4 home development.
So right now, we're finishing 4 homes in Wellfleet and 4 homes in Dennis. And then the homes that we'll be starting will be 2 in Brewster, 1 in Pocasset, and 4 in Falmouth. But after that, we have 6 homes coming up in Yarmouth, 7 in Orleans, 2 in Marston's Mills, the 14 homes in North Falmouth. What am I missing?
I think that's good, yeah.
That's pretty
We have about 35 homes in permitting and
I
maybe
was
8 in the
just going to
ground.
say, you've
Yeah.
got,
Yeah. And if we're not building or permitting right now in those towns, we're talking to just about every other town on the Cape right now,
Sure.
because everyone's feeling the need, and there's
Yep.
something about single-family home ownership that they tend to like here on the Cape.
Do you ever lose a deal or acquiring a piece of land waiting for a town meeting and CPC funds? Well, actually for a town meeting to approve. Does it ever fall apart on you, or it's like,
I don't
it's tough to
remember.
like buy a piece of land, but you have to wait 8
We do,
months to,
yeah.
to even.
There's a few things that have changed a little bit along those lines, but, I mean, we know when we get CPC funds awarded, that it has to go to town meeting for approval, so it's all part of our planning
Okay.
process. I don't think anything has fallen apart.
Okay,
I think now some of the CPCs are giving money to housing trusts, and that way,
right.
we don't have to go through the
cycle
way
of waiting,
for
yeah.
Right.
CPC. But, we've done it both ways, and we know we have to make it work. So we have such a great team at Habitat. If something is harder, then we work harder, and if it's, takes longer, it takes longer.
And
We know the end product is going to be the family that gets into the home, so.
And if we can identify the land outside of the town, and the town's willing to, put some money from their affordable housing trust, we don't have to wait for the town meetings if it's private land.
right.
So
Correct.
we can get the funds and
Right.
just pay them, and you hate to say skip it, but not go through
Yeah.
the annual meeting and the town meeting and the funding cycles.
But most of your projects are going through the LIP, comprehensive permit, ZBA, and multifamily, approvals.
Every
Yeah.
one of them. Right now, we have, of the ones we're permitting, they're all comprehensive permits, and we have one special permit for the
Okay.
one home we have,
And
yeah.
Noreen handles that process
Yeah.
with all the towns. I mean, it's all, from the application through all the permitting,
Yeah.
she knows what needs to be done and does that work.
The project that you did here in West Harwich,
Is that Murray Lane?
Murray Lane.
Yeah.
yeah. What's the time frame, the best of your recollection, from beginning to end with that project?
Was that one during COVID?
That one, we raised walls in August of 2020, I think, thinking COVID was going to be over.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't. But that was a longer project. That, I think, was 18 months, but it did have, you know, it was during COVID. It's usually from the time we raise walls, or from the time we get our foundations in, until the family moves in, is usually 12 months. And it can run shorter, it can run longer. We build through the winter. 2014, we had 10 feet of snow on our houses down in Harwich, or Oak Street, Harwich, I think it was that.
That's when I built my house. It was awful. It was that winter, yeah.
Oh, you built your house that winter?
Yeah, well, I was remodeling it during that, yeah. It was-
Yeah, so I
it was a
mean,
struggle.
I had just started the year before, and I was actually the fundraiser at the time. But yeah, that was what everyone was talking about. We can't get in there, and we can't, you know, just,
It's tough.
so, you know, we say 12 months, but if we
Sure.
have a month or two of snow or any kind of bad weather, we just,
Okay.
And some of the extended build is because the families have to spend 250 hours. So you need to give them a lot of time to get those hours in, because they work, right? They all have jobs,
Sure.
and then they have to build their house, so we'd like to try to give them a little,
yeah, we
Extra
couldn't,
time.
we could build it faster, but they wouldn't get their hours in. So that's all part of the planning, is them being able
That's a
to
lot.
get their 250 hours in.
without overwhelming, yeah.
Okay. Wow, okay.
Sounds great, though. Jeff, anything?
We think it's a great program.
Yeah, that's
I'll
good.
just say that the two of you are powerhouses.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, the program has not changed very much over the years. I mean, Millard Fuller, back in the 70s, developed this program, and it's just like, you know, you just keep doing the cycle.
Mm,
But you certainly have a system, it's clear.
yeah.
You have a very well-oiled machine,
Yeah.
and the two of you are, like I said, just powerhouses. Obviously, land acquisition is probably your biggest bottleneck, your biggest hurdle.
That's where we have to start.
Yeah.
We have to begin.
That's where we have to begin, yeah. Yeah,
We're
and that-
ready.
Yeah, we're ready,
So-
that's right.
So is it, you said you are the one to go out and identify properties?
Typically, yes. Lately, towns are identifying and calling us. So yes, yes, that's me, yeah.
Okay, and who do you work with in the town of Harwich to try to identify properties, or do you just drive around?
No. Sometimes, well, honestly, I started in February, right here, so I've been with this habitat since February, and I live in Dennis, but prior to that, I was with South Shore Habitat over the bridge, traveling back and forth, so there's different ways to look at it. Right now, the Cape is very pro-building, pro-affordable housing, so usually I'll get a call, because right now, like I said, we're permitting 35 homes, we have 8 in the ground, and we're trying to, right now, we just finished 20-day appeal periods on 2 towns, and we're trying to get 8 families in their home by the end of the year. So I have been in discussions on and off with Larry Ballantyne on a couple of things in Harwich.
What
So,
about our real estate and open space group?
yes, yeah.
Elaine
Kathy.
Shovelin and
Kathy Green,
Kathy?
Kathy Green, we've been in
Good.
touch with Kathy
Okay,
Green,
good.
we've been in touch with Larry Ballantyne.
Great.
Yes, so they're interested in a few things, and we're, working with them.
And really, we start moving through all projects, and whichever ones, perk first, the permitting goes quicker, and we get them in our schedule. So we'll always have a pipeline.
Right.
We have a good pipeline right now.
Right now, we have good-
We're in conversations with sometimes to do some, like, 20-plus home builds,
down the road.
so.
Yeah. For example, Yarmouth, we were supposed to start building in Yarmouth quite a bit, a while ago, but they asked us to hold off because now we can connect to sewer. So we
Right.
delayed that project to work into their schedule with connecting to their sewer,
Right.
which made sense, because if we didn't, our families might have to do it down the road.
Right.
So,
Right.
it's always best to kind of keep it moving that way.
Yeah. And same with the IA systems, like in Falmouth. The 14-home build, we knew we were going to have to do IA systems. The 4-home in Gifford Street, we're right on the cusp. We're like, why don't we just do the right thing? We'll do the IA systems. We
Yeah.
could have squeezed in one more Title V, but, the right thing is to,
And we have another town, they were up in the air, so we're doing a Title V, but in our planning, we made room for if 3 or 4 years from now, we have to upgrade to the IA, there's room to do that extra tank. I'm learning septic, the treatment tank, there's room for the treatment tank to go
Yeah,
in
sure.
without having to rip everything out and start over. So
Oh,
we're
that's
trying to
good.
plan strategically so that we're not getting blindsided and have this new expense, because if
on
it
the
goes
families, yeah.
on the families, I mean, because if the
Right.
town puts it in, it's blanket. They're not gonna say, unless you're a Habitat home, you don't have to do that. So
Right.
we're just trying to plan ahead, so.
That's great.
And I know a lot of this area is in the NSA area, because I'm in Dennis and I'm learning that a lot of this side of the Cape is definitely in the nitrogen-sensitive area.
Yep, yep. Okay. This is fantastic. I really appreciate your being here.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
70 Willow Street, wasn't that property that they were considering years ago or recently for?
So that is sitting with the select board. It
Fix
was
the, tidal
originally
issue.
set aside for affordable housing, not designated to the trust yet.
Okay,
So it really sits with the select board. So that is a parcel. I believe there's some frontage issues that two neighbors have to figure out
okay.
or comply with or be part of it. So
That's just one that's been on our radar.
actually, Brown, do you have more on that, or Brown knows more about 70?
I was just gonna say, it's one frontage issue. I mean, yeah, the other one has been resolved. We're still working on getting the title cleaned up as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just one that's been on my radar since I got here, so.
Yeah, when that happens, then, obviously, we'll see if the select board, gives it to
I
us.
think that's
or-
over near Murray Lane, right? That's
Yeah,
near
it's
the Murray
behind,
Lane
yeah.
behind?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
Kathy Green has brought it up
mhm.
yeah.
a few times.
And have you
There.
worked with any trusts? Like, how are you acquiring land through trusts? When they issue an RFP or?
Mostly RFP.
Yep, okay. Understood.
Yep.
Great. Anything else, Bob?
I'm good.
Jeff?
I have nothing more.
Well, thank you very much for coming. That was
Thank
very
you.
interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you for wanting to learn more about our program, and we
Absolutely.
hope to work with you.
Yes.
Same here.
Look
Thank you.
forward to it.
Thank
so
you.
much, thank
Thank
you.
you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, next meeting, October 6th. Does that work for everybody?
October 6th, I will not be in town.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you have to change the meeting time, but
So, October, do you want to,
I could do the 13th.
that's Columbus Day.
That's Columbus Day, that's right. So why don't you go ahead and do the 8th rather than missing
Can we do that Wednesday?
Wednesday of that week, the 20,
I'll send an email out to you, Claudia.
I cannot do Wednesday afternoon.
You can't? Okay.
No. I could do Tuesday, the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
I could do the afternoon of Thursday, the 9th, or Friday afternoon.
Jeff, any thoughts?
So I could do Tuesday, as long as we're done by 2:30. So if we started at 1 on Tuesday, the 7th, I could make that.
Yeah, I think we have one 10-minute presentation that's coming our way for that meeting.
Okay.
But other than that, I think that would work. So Tuesday, 1 PM,
Yep.
October 7th.
Great.
Okay, I think that,
You'll arrange space for that?
yes,
Okay.
we could talk about that, yeah. I'll get that sorted. Okay, great. Anything else?
Nothing but a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.